In this video, I'm going to share with you 31 Elementor tips and tricks that you may not know about, but that may well change your Elementor life. Hello, I'm your host Casino from Casino.com. I'm the digital alchemist, and today I'm going to show you 31 Elementor tips and tricks, among which some nice hidden features depending on your level of Elementor proficiency, of course. Now, most of these apply to both the free and pro version, and only some of these apply to the pro version only. But I'll put labels on screen to let you know. 1. The Elementor Finder. So as long as you're logged in as an administrator, you can just hit Command plus E on a Mac and Control plus E on a PC, and there you go. Here's the Finder. Then I can type the name of a page. So homepage. Let's do homepage 2. Okay, here it is. And then I can just hit it, and it's going to refresh the page. And there you go. I'm within Elementor, and I can start editing. Now, of course, we open the page, but we could have opened a template or anything else related to Elementor. 2. Sections within sections. Okay, so in Elementor, you can have one section and then you can add inner sections. So if I click on the gear icon, I can drag an inner section. Okay, great. But now what if I want another section within that section? So let me try one more time. Inner section. And then if I try to drag it here, it doesn't work. Into a column, it doesn't work. All I can do is add a new section, but it comes below the first one. That's not what we want. So the trick is very simple. So basically, we want to right click on the main column that holds the inner section. We want to copy it. And then I'm going to go within this column here. So the column within the inner section, I'm going to right click and paste. And as you can see now, I have an inner column. And I can just do the same thing here and paste. Then I'm just going to remove the sections. So as you can see, I got intersection within intersections, and guess what? I can right click within this column and I can paste, and I can go on and on and on. I can just go infinitely. Now, bear in mind, this is a really bad practice. I repeat, it's a really bad practice. But in some cases, you may need it to create really complex layouts. Now that could change soon because it looks like Elementor is moving towards the Flexbox model, but more about that in a future video. 3. Vertical divider. Now that used to drive me nuts, but it's actually very simple. So I'm just going to drag a divider widget between the header and the text. Then I'm just going to change its color, but it doesn't really matter. Now, what matters is that first of all, you place it in the center. So the alignment should be in the center. Then you want to go to Advanced, Transform, Rotate, and you want to give it an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, you see what I'm getting? So now you want to go back to Style. You want to change the weight so you can make it as big as you want. And then you want to go back to Content, and now you're going to change the width. So I'm going to use pixels, and I'm going to give it 50 pixels. So now as you can see, we got a nice looking vertical divider. But of course, if you want to give it more top and bottom space, let's just go back to Style, and now you can play around with the gap value. 4. Adding the dynamic current year in the footer. Okay, so this one is for the pro version. So while logged in, you want to hover over where it says edit with Elementor, and then you want to edit your custom Elementor footer. Now, of course, that means that you should have created one custom Elementor footer. Okay, and what I did is I added an icon list, as you can see here. So you want to open the first element of the icon list, and instead of the placeholder text that you can see here, we're going to click on the dynamic tags icon. Next, you want to scroll down to where it says current date time. Then you want to click on the wrench icon. Next, click on the drop down where it says date format and choose custom. And where it says custom format, you want to remove everything and put a capital Y. Next, you want to click on advanced, and where it says before, you want to paste the copyright sign plus a space. And now if I zoom back, as you can see, we have the current year right here. And it's going to be updated automatically when we get to 2023, 2024, and so on. 5. Replace URLs. So for that in WordPress, you want to go to Elementor, Tools, and then you want to click on the Replace URL tab. And then it's very easy. You just type the old URL and then you paste a new URL. Now, why would you want that? Well, simply because when you're developing a website, you may transfer the website to a new domain, and then some URLs might still be the old URL. So it might lead to errors. And with this tool, it's very easy. Let's say that you have 300 links to an old URL. Well, with this tool, you can just replace it in one click. 6. Rolling back to a previous Elementor version. So for that, once again, you want to go to Elementor Tools. Then you want to click on the Version Control tab. And now, as you can see, we have Rollback Version. And if I click on the drop down, as you can see, we can go all the way back to version 3.0.8.1. And if you have the Pro version, it works with the Pro version 2. And for this one, at the time of recording this video, we can go back to version 3.0.1. And that can be very handy if you just updated Elementor to the newest version and you got some issues. 7. Maintenance mode. Now, maintenance mode can be really handy when you are updating your website and you don't want people to see what you're doing. So for that, you want to go to Elementor Tools. Then you want to click on the Maintenance Mode tab. And first of all, you need to choose the mode. So right now it's disabled and we're going to leave it like that at the moment. Then you need to select who can access the website while in maintenance mode. So by default, it says logged in, but you could pick custom and choose which role should have access. We're going to leave it at logged in. And then you need to choose a template. But as you can see, we have no template. So you need to click on create one. Okay, so we're going to call it maintenance 01 and then click on edit with Elementor. Okay, so I'm going to click on the plus sign, create a section with one column. The height should be fit to screen. And then I'm just going to drag a heading widget here in the middle. And I'm going to type, we are in maintenance mode. Now, before you save, click on the settings icon at the bottom left corner of the window. And then where it says page layout, you want to click and select Elementor canvas. Then click on publish. Now let's center this and hit update. Now let's go back to where we were and I'm just going to refresh the page. Okay, so still on the maintenance mode tab. So where it says choose mode, we're going to select maintenance because coming soon tells Google that the website is not yet ready and will be in the future, whereas maintenance tells Google that the website is only going to be momentarily unavailable. Now for who can access, I'm going to leave it as logged in. And now for choose template, if I select, you can see we have our maintenance 01 template and I'm just going to hit save changes. And as you can see now on top, it says maintenance mode on. And if I go back to the front page of my website and if I hit refresh, ta-da, we are in maintenance mode. And when you're done working on your website, just change the mode. So I'm going to pick disabled, hit save changes. And now if I go back to the front end and if I refresh, there you go. We're back in the game. 8. Using the Elementor navigator. So the navigator can be really handy when you have a lot of sections and you just want to organize things. So for that, you want to go to the bottom left corner of the window and you want to click on navigator, or you can just hit Command plus I on a Mac or Control plus I on a PC. And as you can see, we have our 4 sections here. And if I click on section number 3, it's going to take me straight to section number 3 and so on. And if you take a look at the little arrow here, if I click on it, it's going to expand everything and then I can access specific elements, and that can be really handy if for some reason you can't access one element just here in the interface, you can access it via the navigator. So let's click back on the arrow and it's going to collapse everything. 9. Docking the Elementor navigator. So now that you know how to use the Elementor navigator, let's say that you want to dock it because you want to have a cleaner interface. So it's very easy. Just drag the navigator all the way to the right, release, and as you can see, it's automatically docked on the right hand side. So that can be really handy to have a cleaner interface, especially if you have a larger screen. 10. Favorite widgets. So let's say that your favorite widget is the menu anchor widget, but there's a slight problem because this widget is at the very bottom of the widgets list and you don't want to keep on scrolling down every time you want to use it. Well, the solution is simple. Just right click on your preferred widget and click on add to favorites. And now we can scroll all the way back up. And as you can see, our menu anchor widget is now in our favorites. So let's add another one. And ta-da! Now we have both our preferred widgets in our favorites. 11. Create anchor links. Anchor links or jump links are links that are going to take us somewhere on the same page. For example, if we want this button here to take us to section number 4, there are a couple of ways we can achieve this. So let's select our button. And then in the left panel where it says link, you want to type the hashtag or #, and then section 4. Okay, and now let's go all the way down to section number 4. Make sure you select the section by clicking on the 6 dots. And then with our section selected, you want to go to advanced. And then where it says ID, you want to type section 4. Exactly the same way you typed it earlier on, but without the hashtag or pound sign. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay, let's zoom back out. Now let's go all the way back up. And if I click on section 4, as you can see, it's taking us to section 4. Now there's another button here and I want it to take us to section 1. So let's pick the second way of doing this. So let's select our button. And then once again, where it says link, you want the hashtag or pound sign and then type section 1. Let's zoom back out. Let's go all the way to the top, but this time we're not going to do it the same way. So you want to click on the widgets icon and then we have our menu anchor here in our favorites. Otherwise, just type anchor and let's drag it here at the top. And then we need to give it an ID. So we're going to call it section 1, exactly the same way we typed it in our button at the bottom of this page. Okay, now let me click on the page. Let me go all the way down. And now if I click on this button, it's taking me to section 1. It's actually taking me to this anchor that you see right here. 12. Reverse columns. So sometimes you have a layout that really makes sense on the desktop, but not so much on tablet and mobile. So here, for example, you can see the call to action right away. But now let's move into responsive mode. Then let's go into tablet mode. And as you can see, you can't see the call to action. So you may want to reverse these columns. So for that, you want to select the section. Then you want to go to advanced, responsive. And where it says reverse columns tablet, you want to switch it on. And as you can see, now column 2 comes first and we can see our call to action. And now let's move into mobile mode. And same thing, we can see the call to action. So where it says reverse column mobile, you want to switch it on. And there you go. Now we got a call to action that comes first. 13. Custom breakpoints. Okay, as we just saw, we got a few modes. We got desktop, tablet, and mobile. But what if we want to add additional mode? Well, it's pretty easy. So the first thing you want to do is go to Elementor settings, and then you want to hit the experiments tab. And then you want to scroll down until you see additional custom breakpoints. And in the drop down, you want to select active, then scroll all the way to the bottom and click on save changes. Okay, now that we made this change, you want to open a page with the Elementor editor, or if you had the page already open, you want to refresh this page. Okay, next you want to go at the bottom left corner and click on responsive mode. And as you do that, you see here at the top that we now have a toolbar. So you want to go to the top right corner of this toolbar and click on the manage breakpoints icon. And now on the left hand side, we have some options to add more active breakpoints. So click on the plus sign and for example, let's add mobile extra, tablet extra, and let's add laptop and widescreen. So now if I zoom back, let me click on update. And as we do this, Elementor is prompting us to reload the Elementor editor. So let's click on reload now. Once again, let's trigger the responsive mode. And as you can see, we got way more icons than we previously had. So if I hover over each icon, it tells me what it is. So widescreen, desktop, laptop, tablet extra, tablet, mobile extra, and mobile. And now if I go back to editing those settings, as you can see, I can also change the settings manually. So for mobile extra, I could change and say it's 900 pixels. This is really up to your preference. 14. Entrance animations. So Elementor allows you to add entrance animations for items, for columns, for sections, you name it. So let me show you. First, let me pick this title here, and then I'm just going to go to advanced, motion effects. And where you see entrance animation, there are a bunch of animations that you can choose from. So for example, we got rotate in, which I don't use. I don't think I use it. We got ta-da. Let's pick another one. Sliding left. Now let's pick sliding up. I like this one. So you can change the animation duration. Let's keep it at normal, and the animation delay. So for the first one, I'm just going to keep it like this. But now look at this. Let me select the second item. Go to advanced, motion effects. This time I'm going to pick fade in. But for the animation delay, I'm going to pick 400. Let's repeat the operation for the third one. Advanced motion effect. This time is going to be fading up. And the animation delay is going to be 800. And last but not least, our button, advanced motion effects, zoom in. And this time the animation delay is going to be 2000 milliseconds, so 2 seconds. Okay, let's click on update. And now as we load our page, you can see each element that comes one after the other with the delay that we entered. So let me refresh the page one more time. And voila, 15 global widgets. Okay, so let me give you an example. So here I have an image and I already styled it. So when I scroll, it actually rotates. And I also added a link. So when I click on it, it opens a menu pop-up. So let's say I want to reuse this in other parts of the website. Well, on this page, it's easy. I could just copy and paste it. And basically I could do this even with other pages, but there's a simpler way. So let me show you. I'm just going to right click and then hit save as global. Then I'm going to give it a name. I like to put global in front and then I give it the name I want to give it. Click on save. Okay, so now it sits in the global tab. So right here. So once again, if I click here on the widgets icon and then you see global underneath. And if I click on it, I can just drag the global icon right here and it's going to have exactly the same behavior. Now, if I go on another page, I can still click on global and I got my icon here. And as I scroll, as you can see, it's working fine. And if I click on it, it still opens the pop-up. But now if I want to edit, so let me edit this one. So basically it's going to tell me that the widget is now locked. Either I can edit globally or I can unlink from global. Let me show you. Let's click on edit global widget. And now I'm just going to change the size of the image. So I'm going to go to style and instead of 200 pixels, it's going to be 100 pixels. So let me click on update. And now let's go back to the other page. Okay, let me hit refresh. And now as you can see, the size has shrunk to 100 pixels because it's a global widget. So now I think you can see the power of this. Now that's a pro feature, just like the next one. 16, templates. Okay, a bit like what we did for the global widgets, we can do something similar with templates. Not exactly global, but you see what I mean in a moment. So here I have a call to action banner, actually a call to action block. I'm going to right click and click on save as template. Then I'm going to give it a name, templates, call to action block. Let me hit save. Okay, so now it's in our library. Let me close this. So now that it's saved, I can go to the search widget field and I'm going to type template. This is a pro widget as mentioned. So I'm just going to drag it here in a new section. And now it's going to ask me to choose from a template. So I'm just going to type template because that's the name I gave it. I called it template call to action block. Let me pick this one. And as you can see, it's loaded the template. Now I need to make things right. So I'm just going to select my column, make it full width. Then I'm going to go to advanced and I'm going to unlink the padding values. Then I'm going to select my column, go to advanced and unlink the padding values. So it looks exactly the same, but the difference is that the second one, if I click on each element, it's not going to work because it's a template. It's like basically like a picture of what you see here on top. So here I can change each element, but not here at the bottom. So let's remove the first section. And you may be wondering, so what's the catch? Why would you do this? Well, let me show you. So first of all, I'm going to update my page. And then I'm just going to right click on the section, copy it, then move to another page. I'm going to right click and paste it. Okay, so far so good. So let me update this page. Now, let's say that I want to change something here. So instead of ipsum, I want to change the text. So if I click on the edit icon, it's telling me here in the left panel that I need to click on edit template. So let me do this. Okay, and now I can actually edit the template. So let me change the text. Let's change it to new text. And let me hit update. Now, if I go back and now let me refresh this page. Let me scroll down. And as you can see, the new text is now appearing. So now let's move on to the first page. And once again, I'm going to refresh. Let's scroll down And as you can see, the text has changed. So as you see, this is really handy. Let's say, for example, that you have a bottom banner on 20 pages on your website. Well, all you need to do is create a template. You only need to change it once, and the changes are going to be reflected on the 20 pages. But you've only needed to make the changes one time. 17. Placeholder image for video backgrounds. So as you may know, in Elementor, you can add video backgrounds. So for that, I'm going to select my section. Then I'm going to go to Style. And then where it says background type, I'm going to pick video. Okay, next I want to paste a YouTube video link. Then I can select a start time. So I'm going to type 80 seconds. Now it should start right away, but if it doesn't start, just click on update and refresh this page. Now for me, it seems to be working well. So where it says background fallback, you want to click on choose image, and then let's pick an image. Okay, now let me click on update. Okay, now let me go to the front end and let me refresh this page. And as you can see, first you see the image as it's loading the video, and then it loads the video. So that's really handy, because if you don't do this, it's just going to be a blank page and it doesn't really look professional. Whereas here, let me show you one more time. First the image, and as the video loads, the video starts. 18. Overlaying elements. Okay, so let me give you an example. So here we have two icon box widgets, one on top of each other. So at this point, you can't really overlay these items, but let me show you. So the first stage, let's pick the second one. So I'm going to click on the edit icon. Then I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to unlink the margin values, and now I can start playing with the values. So where it says top, I'm just going to go negative. And as I go negative, let me zoom back out. You can see the second widget moving up because I'm giving it a negative margin. Then I can also give it a right margin. So let's give it 40 pixels of right margin. And as you can see, now it's sitting on top of the first widget. So what if we want to change the order? So let's give it a Z index of 1. And if you're wondering, the Z index is right here. So I just gave it a Z index of 1. Basically, think of the Z index as layers that come on top of each other. So now let's select the first widget. Let's go to advanced. And once again, where it says Z index, let's type 2. And as I type 2, just take a look at what's happening on the canvas. So as you can see now, the first widget is on top of the second one. Now let's select the second widget one more time. So I'm going to click on the edit icon. And once again, if you have issues selecting the widgets because now they're overlapping, open the navigator with Command I or Control I on a PC. So Command I on a Mac, Control I on a PC. So with the navigator, make sure you select the second icon box, go to advanced, and this time let's give it a Z index of 3. Okay, so now it's back on top, but maybe you don't see the difference. So once again, let me select the first icon box. Let's go to advanced, background, and I'm just going to give it a more dramatic background so that you can see the difference. Okay, so now let me select the second icon box, and I can play with the Z index 1 or 3. So as you can see, you can really play with the elements, you can play with the margins, and you can play with the Z index, and you can place items wherever you want. Now, once again, as mentioned before in this video, when Elementor moves to the Flexbox model, which should happen soon because it's already in beta, then all of this should be way easier. 19. Dark or light theme. Okay, as you've probably noticed since the beginning of this video, I'm using the Elementor dark theme, but you can change this. So for that, you want to click on the hamburger icon at the top left corner, then click on user preferences. And for the UI theme, you can choose auto detect. So basically it's going to take a look at the clock on your computer and detect if it's night or day. So you can pick light, and as you can see, everything now has the light scheme, or you can pick dark by default. So usually I leave it on auto detect, but it really depends on my mood. Don't forget to click on update to save your user preferences. 20. Placing buttons side by side. Okay, so here I have a couple of buttons. So I'm going to select the first button. Then I'm going to go to advanced positioning. And then where it says width, in the drop down, I'm going to select inline auto. Okay, now let me do the same thing for the second button. So let me select it. Once again, go to advanced positioning. And where it says width, I select inline auto. So it's looking good, but there's no gap. So for that, you want to select the first button, go to advanced and link the margin values. And then we're going to add some right margin. So let's give it 20 pixels. And as you can see, it's looking much better. 21, removing space between widgets. So sometimes you want to be able to remove space between widgets. So usually for that, you click on the widget, you go to advanced, make sure you unlink the margin values just to be sure that there is no top and bottom margin. But as you can see here, that's not enough. Let me check for the second one, advanced, and same thing, 0 all over, and still we have a gap here vertically. So the tip is very easy. You want to select the column in which the widgets are. So let me select this column. And then where it says widget space, see by default it's 20. So you want to type 0 and there you go. Now there's no gap between the elements. 22, export and import Elementor template kits. Now Elementor kits are an easy way to export and import full website designs. Okay, first of all, make sure you go to Elementor settings, then experiments, and then scroll down until you see import export template kit. Make sure it's activated with the green dot. So it's active by default. So make sure it's not on inactive. Otherwise it's not going to work. So if you want to export your designs in the WordPress admin, you want to go to Elementor tools, and then you want to click on import kit. And as you can see here, you can export a template kit. So if I click on start export, it's going to ask me if I want to export everything I have on my website. So the templates, the content, and the site settings. Now here I'm on the free version. So as you can see, the header, footers, archives, single posts, and all the rest are grayed out because this is for the pro version. But for all the rest, you can export it. And then once you've exported a template kit, you can create a fresh new install. Then go to import a template kit, click on start import, and it's going to ask you to select the zip file that was created when you exported your website. Or you could add another Elementor kit zip file from another source. Now, if you want to use the official Elementor kits, you want to go to templates, kit library, and then you can filter either by category or by plan. So let's say you want to see the free kits. Here they are. Then you can click on one of the kit and you can preview it in the desktop, tablet, and the mobile. And once you click on apply kit, it's going to ask you to connect to the template library with your Elementor account. Even if you're using the free version, you can create your account for free. Click on get started. It's going to ask you which components you want to import. And then once you click import, you have a brand new website. And if you want to know more about this, I created this tutorial as well as this one. 23, adding your own fonts. So this is a pro feature, but it's really great if you have a dedicated brand identity, which is something I really encourage you to do. If you're wondering, I got a free guide that you can download on my website for free. Okay, so if you do have a dedicated brand identity and if you don't want to use Google Fonts, then this is the tool you want to use. You want to go to Elementor, Custom Fonts, then click on Add New, give the name of the font. So if the font was my font, that would be the name. Then click on Add Font Variation. Okay, so it's going to ask me to add different format for my custom font. So let me upload those. Okay, so now let me hit publish. And now if I open a new page, select some text, I go to style, typography, and then in the drop down for the fonts, I'm going to type my font. And as you can see, it's right here. And this is my font. 24, adding a slideshow to your hero section. Okay, so here I got a very simple hero section with a background color and some text. So first of all, let me select my section. Then I go to the style tab, and where it says background type, so for the moment it's set on color, as you can see. And I'm going to change and select slideshow. Okay, next where you see the plus sign, you want to click on it, and then you want to add 2 or more images. So I'm going to add this one, and this one. So you don't want to add too many images because if the images are heavy, then your website is going to be slow. So 2 or 3 images max is a good rule of thumb. Click on create a new gallery and insert gallery. Okay, so this is our slideshow and it looks like it doesn't work, but it does because actually the duration is set to 5,000 milliseconds as a default, which is 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, as you can see, things are changing. So right now the transition is set to fade, but I can change it to slide right, for example. or to slide left, up, or down. So let me put it back on fade, and then you can switch on the Ken Burns effect. So let's switch this on. And as you can see, we got this slow zooming effect, which looks really good in my opinion. 25. Elementor hotkeys. Okay, Elementor hotkeys are basically shortcuts that you can use, and you're supposed to bring it up with Command plus the question mark on a Mac and Control plus the question mark on your keyboard. Now for me, I don't have a direct button for the question mark. I need to use Shift, and for some reason it doesn't really work. So if that's your case, make sure you screenshot this screen. That, by the way, you can find on Elementor's website. So for example, let's say that I made a big mistake and I completely removed this section. Well, no panic, I can use Command plus Z on a Mac or Control plus Z on a PC. Now there are many more shortcuts on this page: undo, redo, copy, paste, paste style, and so on. 26. Using history and revisions. Okay, in the same example I gave, let's say that I made this big mistake. There's another way I can bring this back up. So at the bottom left corner of the window, if you click on the history, you can basically see all the steps ever since you started editing in this session. And I say in this session because if you refresh the page, it's not going to work. So let me show you. Here we see section removed. And if I click on the first step, editing started, then it's going to work fine. As you can see, we're back in the game. Now, as I said, this is only for the ongoing session. So once again, let me remove this. Let me click on update, and as soon as I refresh the page, it's a new session. So this time, let me go back and click on history. And as you can see, it says no history yet because it's a new session. But no panic, here you can see revisions. So click on revisions. And as you can see, this is the full history of this page. And as you can see, I've been using this page a lot. So now I can just go back to 19 seconds ago. Let's check. Okay, still empty. Let's pick 2 minutes ago. And as you can see, now we're back in the game. Click on apply, then click on update, and you're all set. 27. Copying and pasting between browser tabs. Okay, so that's pretty easy, but first of all, I need to decide what I want to copy. It could be a widget, it could be a column, or it could be a section. So I'm going to hover over the 6 dots of this section, right click, and then I'm going to hit copy. Now, there is a shortcut. I could have used Command plus C on a Mac or Control plus C on a PC, but I'm just going to click on copy. Okay, next I'm going to go to another page and I want to paste this section just below this one. So I can either right click just below here and click on paste, or I hover over the section and hit paste. And now if I scroll down, as you can see, it's working perfectly fine. 28. Copying and pasting styles. Okay, sometimes you want to go fast, and let's say that I want to make the green text exactly like the hero section text here. So it's pretty easy. Let me show you. So I'm just going to right click on the element, hit copy, and then I'm going to right click on the other element, and instead of clicking on paste, I'm going to click on paste style. So as you can see, it works really fast. Let me do this again. And there you go. In just a few seconds, we match all the text after the first hero section text. 29. Sampling colors. Okay, let's say that I want to change the background color of this first section to match another element on the page. So for that, I want to select my section first, then go to Style, and then where it says Background Color, I'm going to click on the color. And as you can see here, we have an icon for the color sampler. So let me click on this. And as I did that, now the mouse pointer has changed to this color picker. So I'm just going to hover over the elements and I'm going to pick this color, and then I'm going to confirm. And as you can see, now we changed the background color of our section. Pretty easy, huh? So let's do it one more time. So let me click on the color sampler, and this time I'm going to pick this color, and now it's giving me a different palette. So there are a few colors. I can hover over the colors and see the changes reflected in real time. And let me pick this one, and there you go. 30. Dual color heading. Okay, so first of all, let me select my heading, and just temporarily I'm going to align it left. And then here where it says hero section in the left panel, right before section, I'm going to start typing some code. So open the tag, span, Okay, as you can see, it's happening. But now we want to close this tag. And voila. Even if you don't know how to code, just make a screenshot of this and just replace the hexadecimal code here with the color code you want to use. 31. Managing all styles in just a few clicks. So let's say you have a website with 100 pages, but at one point you have a change of heart and you want to change the color palette. So luckily for us with Elementor, it's pretty easy if you made things right from the beginning. So let me show you. In the top left corner, you want to click on the hamburger icon, and then you want to go to site settings. So here you can change the global colors, and by default you have 4 global colors at the beginning, so primary, secondary, text, and accent, and you can change these. So you should do this every time you start a new project so that when you have a change of heart, you can just change it. So let me show you. Let me pick some green, and okay, don't pay attention to this green, but you get the idea. And now if I scroll, all the colors that were referenced to the previous color are now changed, and I can replicate these for all the colors. So I can change the text. So it's going to be pretty ugly, but it's just to show you that you can change pretty much anything you want, provided that you referenced it in the beginning. And now if I go back to the front end, let me refresh. And I know it's going to be ugly, but once again, it's just for you to see how this works. So let's scroll down, and as you can see, all the colors are changed. The only thing that remain blue are the things that either have a background image like this, or they had a color that was not referenced. But for the rest, it's pretty handy and a great gain of time. Now, if you enjoyed the tips, please give this video a thumbs up. It's only going to be a split second for you, but that's going to mean so much for this channel. And if you want more Elementor and web design goodness coming your way, make sure you subscribe and smash the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Now, I hope these tips are going to help you in your workflow. Please let me know of any other tips you know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one, and don't forget, I'm trying to build the content I wish I had when I got started. So I'll see you in the next one, and until then, take care and stay safe.